I think it's working, people. I think it's working. Pop in, say hi, let me know where you're from. And if you haven't been to my channel before, hi, my name is Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And yeah, let me know if you're hearing me good. I kind of switched things up a little bit today and going to see how this works. This is my Mother Nature wall behind me here. And we're not really getting a good view of this, so excuse me while I'm doing a little bit of readjustment here. Why? Because I can. Yes, much better, much better. Again, as you pop in, say hi. Let me know where you're from. Tonight, my main moderator, Andrew, he got offered a shift tonight, so he's going to be late or he's not going to make it in at all tonight. So we're going to see who the main moderator is going to be tonight. I have lots of main moderators. They all come in and, right, you can't tell one from the other. Really, really friendly people. So if you have come into my lives on Sunday nights and actually watch them from behind, come on in. Join us in the comments. Every week, people get braver and braver. And I notice every week we pick up one or two more people that kind of join us. And it's really interesting to get to know everybody. Owen made it in here tonight. First, I've got a new setup here. Let me know what you think of it. This is my Mother Nature wall. This is my tarot table here. I've been playing around with things a little bit, trying to make it work. This is a little bit of an adapt and conquer. The only thing I forgot was that I can't get the monitor close enough to me so that I can read the comments. But I am watching it okay. Everybody, say hi. Let me know where you're from. Hi, Kathy. Oh, Kathy's here already. Andrew said he was going to be pretty late tonight, or he might not be able to make it at all tonight because he is picking up Sunday shifts. And it's important for us to make sure that we're working when we can, right? Because who knows what the future brings. Now, again, I'm a little bit frazzled here. I actually just came in. I finished walking my sister's dog. She's out today, so it's too long of a period. It's an old dog, right? So I thought I'd take him for a walk so he can do his business and everything. And then I came back in here and I'm playing a game with my system. I got some extension cords, USB extensions, and I've got my webcam that can travel anywhere in my apartment now. So now I will be able to use any one of my walls here as a studio. So tonight we're using the Mother Nature wall. I finished up putting PrairieDodgers across my wall here. Perfect. I like that. I left the clock here. I was going to take the clock down only because it says what time I'm coming live, right? So if I'm 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late, you guys will know it, right? Because I have the clock right here. So it's important for me. I haven't reset it. I unplugged it and everything. Today when I was trying to get the letters up, actually I did the lettering just a couple of days ago. I put up PrairieDodgers. And with the right lighting, let's check out my lighting system. We're going to get a lighting system for this wall too. We're going to get a lighting system for this wall too. But I don't think this one is actually, yeah, it's not really going. Maybe when it gets a little bit darker outside, it will set up some good lighting for inside for my lives. But I'm just trying it out, you guys. Let me know what you think. And also let me know how the sound is too, because I've got the sound hooked up to a USB. Or do I? Oh, no, I don't. So I've got an extra extension cord here for a USB device to run it from my computer to somewhere else in here. So I needed two of them, one for the microphone and one for the camera. But because I moved the whole thing over a little bit so we could get almost the whole wall in. That I have an extra one here. Too bad I couldn't hook the monitor up that way with with this cord, but yeah, it goes screws directly into the computer. But I pulled the desk away from the wall and I got it as close to me as I could so that I can actually see the comments, so I can see what everybody's talking about. And on top of pulling it away from the wall, I was so pleased because yesterday I swept and I washed my floors. I did a good job. I was feeling really good about my nice clean apartment, that I was really going to enjoy my day off today. And I pulled my desk away from the wall. Yeah, you guessed it. I had crumbs absolutely just everywhere. And so I had the opportunity to clean really well behind the desk, and also I just finished washing the floors. I bleached them and everything. They're all nice and clean. They're drying right now. I'm wearing black socks. My socks will probably be white after the live show, but that's okay. I am happy because the last thing I want to do is promote bugs, but it's concrete. These walls in here are just concrete. I never hear my neighbors. Did anybody notice? I got my new glasses, everybody. I accomplished something big. I got my glasses. That was absolutely something humongous for me. It was over $700 for my glasses. So I'm really, really pleased that I've got another big thing out of the way. Now we're hacking away at the car. I'm hoping I'm at $1,000 still, but I haven't looked into my account for the past few days, obviously, because I don't want to see that big chunk of money missing from the account. But I did have to pay for the glasses, and that was a lot of money, and it was a big responsibility, and it was something that I really needed to get done alongside of getting the vehicle. It would have been totally irresponsible for me to get the vehicle and not have taken care of the glasses. I would think that the glasses in this moment is most important. On top of that, everybody, I'm getting a bike this week. So I'm pretty excited about that. My boss ordered in the bikes for the season, so I'll get first dibs on the mountain bikes when they come in, and they're $50 each. So I'm investing the $50, and I'm going to see. It's a long bike ride to work, but you know what? I can depend once I got a good timing as to how long it takes me to get to work from here in the morning. I'll be able to schedule my live shows around those timings, and yeah, get in some good exercise, feel really good, right, about losing some weight. I'm going to take a look at the comments. It's a little bit strange right now because normally I can look directly at my comments and still be face to face with everybody, but I see here that I have to look at this camera to be looking at everybody. But in order to read the comments, I have to look this way. So give me one moment. Let's see what's going on with the comments here. Oh, Andrew made it in. Excellent, Andrew. Oh, yeah, I had to restart my live show because I had too many extension cords going on, and yeah, I tried a couple of times. I was here right at 7:30, but I had to cancel that live and then restart my live again. It's adapt and conquer. We're trying something new today. Oh, William, holy moly, William made it in today. Hi, William. What do you think of that? How do you like my Mother Nature wall? All my little things here, right? I've got my dad's plaque. I've got little paintings of Nova Scotia Lighthouse, a big candle I got from work. all these things I got from work, and I got them all at a really good price. Most of the things here I got for almost a dollar. Kathy colored this for me. This is Kathy's art. This is a Mystic Wander, and it's Dream Big, and she sent this to me from Nova Scotia. I love it. This is an owl mirror that my sister picked up for me as a gift. She knows I collect owls, so she bought that for me. Yeah, I haven't set the clock yet. The clock is wrong. The time is wrong. This is my thermostat up here, but I got this little sign. It says, always chase your dreams. It is better than running away from your fears. And you can actually take this acrylic piece off, right? And you can put something else. You could write another message in there and write it in there. And it's covering my thermostat for my heat. So I thought that was pretty good. And these are just some necklaces. Again, it's another owl. And this is a soapstone carving. It's a mask, right? Somebody carved that and put it on a piece of leather. So I found that at work too. Some beads. I just got a lot of good. This is my tarot table. I've got all my tarot cards all on inside here on the shelf here. Yeah, I'm really pleased that I accomplished getting the glasses. It's the creativity part of it, right? I'm pretty creative, but you can see I'm very eclectic too. So somebody who likes that clean, streamlined look, I would probably, right? I got a lot of little doodads and stuff lying around, and even though it's clean, there's lots of stuff to look at. And that's what the thing is that I really actually like about my apartments, really, is because when I would have friends over, not like I have a lot of friends over. I haven't actually had anybody over to my apartment except for my sister Alice, right? Let me have a sip of my coffee. Really good. So I really haven't had anybody, but in my younger years and stuff, and when I was working in the clubs and stuff, and I used to like to have people come over and feel really, really comfortable. It was really important for me that people who came to my house, that they felt like they were home. I wanted them to feel really comfortable. I wanted them to feel that they could be themselves when they came over to my place, because all my friends were so different from each other, right? And when people go to strangers' houses or people that they don't know very well, they're not comfortable. You guys probably know that feeling, right? People aren't normally very comfortable going to other people's houses. So it was always important for me to have little conversation pieces around in my art, in my decorations, even like little treats and things I would bake and things like that. So it was always important for me that people would feel comfortable. And conversation pieces were a big part of that, because if nobody had anything to do, or if they felt uncomfortable, at the very least they could stand in front of a piece of art or stand in front of a piece of a wall, right, and just check everything out, right? Maybe they might have a question as to something that they see, right? Maybe they just find something really interesting. And I've given many, many, many things away, when somebody says, "Oh my gosh, that is absolutely amazing," right? And then I end up giving it away. Because, again, I want people to feel comfortable. And if somebody loves something more than I love it, well, of course I want them to have it, right? Okay, so Cindy's going to wheel herself over. Check out the comments again. Right? I love knickknacks. I love having lots of things to look at. and it's really representative of me, right? It's not like it's you know, you look at this, you look at my wall here, and you could see that it says Cindy. This is actually, I might as well just show you, because this is my power box here, and they mounted it on the wall all crooked, right? So I wanted to cover it up, and I covered it up with this book that I picked up at work. I got it for $1. I got this book here for $1, right? I keep showing it to my monitor. I'm sorry. It's going to take me a couple of weeks to get used to using my webcam in front of me here, right? So forgive me if I keep looking off to the side. But again, it's an opportunity for me to take a look at the comments, right? And this book is 365 Ways to Save the Earth. And I thought maybe I would challenge myself, and then maybe every live we can take a look at one way to save the earth. And actually, why don't we do that right now? We'll start with day number 1, because this is the first day in my new studio. This is where I'm going to do my Sunday night lives. Once I have a better camera, it's going to have a wider angle, and that way we'll be able to get me from like the ceiling right down to the floor, rather than just from this space right here, right? But for right now, this works, you guys. This works. I'm going to get a second monitor. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a second monitor. A monitor for over here, maybe a little monitor. I guess I could use my phone. Let's check out if we can do this by going to my phone here. Maybe I could see the comments that way better. We'll see. We'll see. Go to my channel here. Go to my channel. Oh, there I am. That's not a very good thumbnail. Let's turn it down now. Okay, now let's just see if the comments are better right there. This is better for me. This is better for me, guys. Now next week I don't have to I don't have to pull my desk out and everything, because I can see the comments perfectly fine right now. Thanks, Sharon. Oh yes, a stream of consciousness. What a great name for a YouTube channel, right? And we do need, maybe this is what we should call this show, Stream of Consciousness. I think maybe that's what we should do. That's a good name, because you know, on my Instagram, I call my show What's My Good Cheer, but I don't call this show What's My Good Cheer, because I've been doing this live show for well over a year, longer than I've been doing my show over on Instagram. And the topic here is a little bit more personable, isn't it? Like, we're more like friends, and we're more about connection here, and keeping everybody company and holding each other up. There's a lot of that going on my YouTube channel here. It is a little bit different than my Instagram show, right? But Stream of Consciousness, yes, that's a good name for this show on Sunday nights. Good job, Andrew. Let's see what else is going on in the comments. Yeah, because this is great, right? So all I need now, you guys, I'm just so smart. Yeah, I got this thing. I wonder, today's the first day with this setup here. So we're going to improve this every week. This will improve a little bit more, until we have this absolutely down packed, right? But for now, let's see. Do it like this, right? Oh no, Sharon, yes, I am talking to myself. See if this works, though. This would be great if this works. It doesn't work. But you know what, people? Again, it is adapt and conquer, isn't it? Right? And this live show has been going on forever and ever. And we have changed the scenery. We have changed this background a few times, haven't we? And you know what? That's okay. And it'll continue to change. But what I need to do is I need to get a couple of tripods too. I'm never going to get that car, you guys, if I keep buying this stuff. This thing didn't even work, but maybe I just not working it properly or whatever. But yeah, so again, let me know what you think of my my setup, my wall here. Oh, okay, I get it. I get it, Sharon. Very poetic, right? When she talks, it's like poetry. It's almost like puzzles, right? Wouldn't she be good at doing one of those GPS, when they make the little treasure boxes and they hide them somewheres, and you make these poems, these clues, and you make them very poetic and stuff. Sharon would be really, really good at that. I was going to go bottle digging today, Owen. You were saying that it was a nice day. It was more warmer than it usually has been. Today, actually, I got up. It was raining. It was absolutely lovely. All the streets were being washed and it just stayed dark and dreary for most of the day. And now the skies are absolutely clear. So I'm not too sure. Tomorrow I want to go and get my new phone. I want to see again. I'm looking at the monitor. I'm not looking here, you guys, right? Adapt and conquer. Like I said, it's going to take me a couple of weeks to get this sorted out, right? But we're going to figure this out. And I'm going to see. Look at me. And this is what we're going to do. We're just going to test it and see what it goes, right? But I'm happy that I can glance down at my phone and watch the comments. I know I can go live on my phone itself. I know I could go live on my phone, and I do have Wi-Fi. I have my phone and my internet are separate accounts, right? Because I do like to have a really good connection, and I don't like to always just depend on my data, right, on my phone, even though my phone is supposed to have Wi-Fi too. But I haven't figured that out. I haven't figured a lot of things out when it comes to my brand. But again, it's adapting, it's conquering, it's figuring things out as you move along, right? And last night, actually, I just was cleaning this up and I was sorting it out. I was trying to thin it out, actually, because I realize how busy this wall is. I know this is a busy, busy wall. I have a little bit of space right up here, right? Right up here, I have some space. And what I want to do is I want to leave that space for little things that, sometimes people send me letters or send me quotes or send me little things. I want to have some kind of frame. Maybe I'll find a really nice picture frame and paint it white or something. And then inside, I'll use that as kind of a display system right there, right? But it will always change. This will always constantly be changing because that's just the way Cindy rolls, right? Cindy likes to change. Oh, Sharon, congratulations. Oh, so happy for you. I don't qualify. I'm in that housing where everybody here is getting their vaccines and stuff, but I'm a few months too young because you have to be 60 years old in order to get that vaccine right now. So I'm stuck with the younger group, right? I'm hoping because I work for a charity that maybe I'll be able to get in with the next batch of vaccines. But as it is, no, I still haven't had my vaccine yet. And my sister's heart disease, it qualifies her for the vaccine. She's getting that one that new one that's coming in that they had in Britain. She's getting that one because it's crucial for her to get her vaccine, because if she gets that coronavirus, it's going to be really, really difficult for her. She gets a cold and she gets pneumonia, so I can't imagine what would happen to her if she gets the coronavirus. Yeah, it won't be pretty, right? Oh, yeah. So you should have qualified, especially being a caregiver, Owen, like you taking care of your mom. That should have qualified you to get your shot. Yeah, I like I'm allergic. I have allergic reactions to even the flu shot, and I'm still getting my vaccine. The moment they say that I can have my shot, I'm going to make my appointment, and I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to have my vaccine 100%, right? And I'm going to make sure I take somebody with me, right? So to film me, because I'm going to want to go traveling, and I don't know how they're going to document it for when we go over the border, because I'm really looking forward to road tripping, people. I'm going to do tons of it. I'm so excited. I don't know how I'm going to manage it, but I know it's going to happen for me. So yeah, I want to make sure that I have some kind of documentation so that I can at least get across the border, just in case I want to go to a workshop or a seminar, right? Or visit, or just visit, or go for road trips, right? I do want to do a little bit of traveling, and we have been shut down pretty good for the past couple of years now, haven't we? I think all of us are pretty much done with all of this. Oh, good job, Sharon. Good job. Yeah, right. I think so too, Andrew. Oh, the shortages for the vaccine. See, I try not to get myself too involved. I follow the mayor, and then every once a week I go in and I check the stats in the Manitoba site. But I don't get myself wrapped up in these crises in the world, right? It's, we have enough to worry about in our everyday life that we don't need to just, right? If we don't have anything that we can do to make the situation better, then we should just try and stay out of it and try not to let it eat on our minds, right? Like we tend to bite onto things and not let things go, and then we end up stressing ourselves over those things. I don't even have a TV, and when I'm online, when I'm on the computer and stuff, I'm usually watching Mindset and everything. Do I need to move over a little bit here? See, again, there we go. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. Oh, okay. Wow, in your state too. That's pretty good, Andrew. So you guys in Bloomingdale should be pretty much done pretty soon with the vaccines. Yeah, your country just seems to be really on top of the states. I guess it's an economic thing. You're ahead of us of the game when it comes to those vaccines, rolling out those vaccines. I know our healthcare system, our healthcare workers and stuff, they actually have the vaccines out and everything, right? But yeah, the general public, like I'm glad to hear that my sister's going to get her vaccine. But yeah, me and my sister Alice, we live in this building that is full of people with emotional issues. We have people in financial dire straits here, lots and lots and lots of seniors, lots of low incomes, right? So it doesn't make sense to me that you just do part and then like everybody else is just going to spread the virus to each other. Yeah, I really hope that option comes up to me right away. Nice to see you in here, William. It's been a couple of weeks since you popped into our lives. It's nice to see you back in. Oh, right, college. But school should be out pretty soon, shouldn't they, Andrew? Shouldn't school be almost done? Yeah, I can't imagine that that they'll I can't imagine like here in Winnipeg, yeah, the school systems have been moving too, right? The kids have been going into classes and stuff. And I think that's a little bit as to why some of these viruses, haven't completely disappeared. But we have been doing really, really good, keeping those numbers fairly low. We're actually dropping from red code and we're going into orange code right away, and they've increased the number of people that could actually come into our shop for shopping. So it's actually easier for us because the maximum that we can have in the store now is pretty much what we have on the store at any given time. So we don't really have to keep track as hard as we used to, right? So that's a good thing. Oh, okay. And no spectators allowed in that. Yeah, so it's still going to be a little bit of a strange spring and summer, right? But at least things are rolling now. Not everybody's spring and summer this year is going to be ruined. So now that this nice weather is starting to roll in, like I'm looking out the window right now and the sky is all beautiful red, and the breeze is coming into the apartment. I can feel the breeze on me, and it feels very springish, right? And once I have that bike, I'm going to be on that bike every single night. I canceled one of my live shows. I was doing 2 live shows on Instagram every day. So in the evening, I would come home, quickly have something to eat, come home from work, quickly have something to eat, and then go right into my live, absolutely exhausted, right? But I wasn't putting out valuable content on that evening live. All I was doing basically was coming in and just talking about my day, and it was almost like 80% of the time I wasn't able to get into flow, right? Just because I was really tired, and I was finding there wasn't quality time for me. Everything just seemed rush, 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 like all the time. I'm feeling much better the past 2 weeks since I've been doing this. The first week was pretty rough. Every single night I wanted to go live. But now that I've settled into the routine, it's much better for me. I can see 100% that it is much better for me. And I think it's going to improve my content along the line because I'm actually getting things done right now, because I wasn't getting anything done because I was online and I wasn't providing value in that evening live show. So this way, I'm providing value by right doing some things for myself, for the house, being able to get out and interact physically, because I think it's really, really important for us, because even though we don't realize it, I think we pass our magic along physically when we have interactions with other people, right? When we're actually having friendly conversations. Even when people are like yelling at us or treating us badly, that's just their souls having a reaction, right? And we are passing a gift to them, and it might not be a pleasant, because again, we don't know what we're passing to them, right? We're passing something to them, and it could be good, or it'll still be good, but it might be uncomfortable for a while, depending on the lesson that's being delivered, right? So I truly think that it's really important for us to physically interact with each other. And I think a big part of what's going on with this coronavirus, right? This plague that's been going on in the world here, it was basically set in place to keep us from having those interactions with each other. And if you look at the different aspects of things that were going on in the world, when people have arguments, when there are wars, even things like when AIDS came and stuff, it was just made to shut us down and to stop us from having physical interactions with each other. And these are ideas that run into my head all the time, right? That, something or something or something or something is trying to keep us from having those connections. But we do live in a digital age, and I would think a certain amount of it actually is able to pass through this way. I mean, look at how we all became friends, right? And most of us have not even had true interactions. I know I get emails, and Sharon actually came up here to Winnipeg, and we actually had interactions. But you can believe me and Sharon were passing gifts to each other that lasted even till right now, for sure. And that was meant to be, that visit that Sharon did, that was orchestrated to happen, right? It was orchestrated to happen. And even though we don't know, we could think for ourselves that we thought of these ideas and stuff. Those ideas came from somewheres, and there was a reason why we needed to physically connect, and that was because we needed to physically pass these gifts along to each other. And I truly believe that, right? Me and Sharon were destined to meet, and I think in our next lives, right, now that we've had that physical interaction, it'll be easier for us to find each other. We won't be in our 50s when we find each other next time. Maybe we'll recognize each other in our 20s, or maybe we'll be teenagers. Maybe we'll grow up together. Maybe we'll be siblings. You never know, right? You never know. Let me take a look at some of these comments here. Nancy's heading out. Oh, no, Nancy's here. Yay. Hi, Nancy. Oh, you did, right? Yeah, I truly think that was a strange disease. Wasn't that strange? And there was a lot of labeling and stuff like that applied to that disease, and yet it affected everybody. It affected everybody, right? But I think, again, that it was set in place to shut us down from having interactions with each other, physical interactions with each other. Yeah, it makes me curious. It makes me curious. 100%, Sharon. What a freak, right? Over the past 2 years, the coincidences, the serendipities in all of our lives, the things that have happened, the strange things that didn't happen. And again, Sharon was saying, like, when she came up to visit, that was only a few months. Was that only a few months, Sharon? Before we started having all these troubles in the world, right? When we started getting the coronavirus, like, it was perfect timing for her to actually make it up. Maybe it was our interaction together, Sharon, that brought this whole situation together to make it happen, right? Maybe it takes certain people or certain chain reaction, right? It's kind of like when the president has that option to hit the red button, right? There's lots of protocols. There's different numbers you got to punch in, and then you have to go through this process. And then you go through eye verification and voice verification, and finally the thing pops up and the red button's there, right? Then they're going to test your fingertips to make sure you're the right person, and then bang, you can hit that button. And maybe that was the scenario with us meeting and some of the things that are going on. We don't know what it takes. It's like a combination lock almost. There's another good analogy, like a combination lock when people have those physical interactions. And that's why I think truly that it's a lot of this is physical. A lot of this is physical, what we bring to the table, why people find it that it's important to actually meet people, to actually, right, to sit and have a real conversation, to actually pat somebody on the back physically or rub their shoulders or, right, hold their hands, lift them up, carry them when you have to, right? And right now, all this stuff that's been going on in the world, it did a pretty good job at trying to shut us down. It certainly did. But we live in a digital age where we actually adapted and conquered, and right? And here we are, all of us. We're all here right now, right? Yeah, that was a terrible disease, AIDS. AIDS was just a sad, terrible disease. There was that movie that Matthew McConaughey had made. What was the name of that movie? Does anybody remember that one? He actually lost like 70 pounds or something to make that role. Because he had to look like he was absolutely starving, starving, starving. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of that movie. What's going on, Kathy? I hear somebody saying, sorry to hear that, Kathy. Now I'm backtracking in the comments here to see what Kathy said, right? Oh, your youngest brother. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Kathy. Isn't there a lot of serendipity in our conversations? Isn't there? Isn't there a lot of rolling connections, how things move in our interactions, in our lives, right? In the information that we pass back and forth. I truly believe me and Kathy are definitely supposed to meet somewheres down the line, whether it's bottle digging or she's coming to visit me, or I rent a bus and we go do a tour of Manitoba, a group of us, 50 of us, right? If I could fill a bus with 50 people, and what we could do is we could camp at my favorite camping spot overlooking the lake. We could have the dinghies and go out on the lake and float around the islands. We could take the train up to Churchill and see the polar bears. We could go see some of the abandoned ghost towns here in Manitoba, see some of that history, right? I would love to do something like that. I would be a good tour guide on a bus. I would be a really good tour guide. We would have so much fun. And if we could get 50 people, right? That would be really, really lots of fun. And people, because we're all here right now, all getting to know each other, right? We're all getting to know each other right now. I've got my camera right here, and I've been just trying to keep it off to the side just a little bit so that I can keep up on the comments and practice looking at the camera straight in front of me, right? Yeah, they wouldn't let me donate blood. I tried to donate blood, but they wouldn't let me donate blood because of the gastric bypass that I had, right? Because it doesn't hold a lot of nutrients. But I take a lot of vitamins. I take a lot of minerals and stuff, and like I said, I don't even suffer aches or pains, headaches, bleeding noses, broken bones, right? Every once in a while I'll bang my head on the microwave or I'll stumble over something. But other than that, I would say I'm probably pretty healthy compared to my other sisters, right? And their issues, right? But I've always considered me being overweight, me being obese as my handicap, as my Achilles heel, the thing that was always bringing me down and making me sad. But that is just an excuse, right? Because even as an obese person, I could find joy in different things, right? It was only one aspect of my life, but you know what? I just let it get ahead of me, Again, it's, commercials on TV and ads in magazines and online, those skinny, beautiful model type women selling cars and things like that, right? So these kind of images, they kind of impact, right? Somebody who's genuine, who right? We're not understanding that this is all make believe, that these are all things that have been photo what do you call photoshopped and specifically set up, with the perfect lighting and the perfect girls, like girls that aren't like regular women, right? Because these are anomalies. These are just the super beautiful women. But they do this advertising to make it seem like, this is the way women are supposed to represent themselves in the world, right? And it puts a lot of pressure on women, and for the young girls growing up right now, right, being online this way, trying to get the attention of guys, and all this interaction, again going back to talking about being physical with people. Kids are dating online now, they're not dating in person. And you can look at it in a good way to say, okay, well, they're not passing diseases to each other. They're not getting pregnant and ruining their lives. But at the same time, what if it was their destiny? Maybe they were only meant to find the one that they're supposed to be with and have babies, and all this stuff that is coming up now is just stopping them from meeting the goals that they were meant to have, right? Because everybody's on a different journey. Everybody's going to contribute something different to the world, right? Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Kathy, too. I'm really sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's a strange world, and we lose the loved ones, right? And I lost my dad. It was in the early '80s. It was '83 when I lost my dad, 1983, and I was 23. I was 23 years old, and I was a young adult living on my own, and my dad was in the hospital. I was with him. He was my best friend still, right? Even though I was already seeing other people and I was living on my own. Like, I spent every week, I made a point of seeing my dad. My dad was very, very important to me. So when he went into the hospital for this operation, and because we always had so many different talks about death, right, the terror was in me, right? I was very, very afraid for my dad, about losing my dad. So, of course, I want to spend as much time with him as I could. And in actuality, I was the last one to speak to my dad. We were supposed to bring him home the morning that he died. We were supposed to bring him home that morning, and he phoned the night before just to say that he wasn't feeling well and not to expect that he was going to come home. And I remember being angry. We'll be there 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll be there to pick you up, Dad. Don't worry about it. And then he said, "Oh, is your mom awake?" And I said, "No, Mom's sleeping." He said, "Okay, talk to you later." Right? And I was the last person to talk to my dad, right? So it's hard. We have these loved ones, and we have these memories of their passing, and then we think about these things, and then we stew on them a little bit. And this is a little bit of a lesson now, because everybody's emotions are probably right. Kathy's thinking of her brother, right? And Andrew is right. Like, all these problems that our people are thinking, and all these people that have passed in our lives, we're throwing thoughts to them right now. And it's important for us to realize that these are memories, right? These are not things that we're supposed to be chomping on right now and stirring up in our emotions and holding ourselves back in our movement forward, right? Because it's easy for us to get tied up in these old, sad memories, right? I couldn't imagine going back and thinking about the breakup of my marriage and how many years I wasted, you know? And that was like a death to me. That took me by absolute surprise. I got thrown into a totally different life instantly. And it happens to lots of people, lots of people. But I let it take me down for a couple of decades. It really it really stopped me from having the things that at the time I thought I really, really wanted. I wanted a husband, I wanted a home, I wanted children, right? So when my marriage fell apart, all those dreams were falling apart. And I ended up doing a lot of chasing on those dreams and tried to make those dreams realize by doing it the wrong way. And they weren't meant to be, right? I realize that now, but at the time I didn't. I just thought that, I just wasn't getting what I truly wanted in my life. And at that time, yes, I felt I was a victim, right? But it wasn't. It didn't have anything to do with being a victim. It just meant that it wasn't meant for me, that God had another plan for me, that there was another plan for me, that I wasn't meant to have kids. I wasn't meant to be married and tied down, right? Because again, I wouldn't be sitting where I'm sitting right now if that was the case, would it? Because I would have been too busy taking care of my family and my home, right? That this might not have even interested me. This might not even have crossed my mind at any time. Or all those many times that I wanted to quit, that I so closely came to just quitting on my brand. Remember, I've been at this since 2014 and my brand has evolved many, many times since then, right? So, every time it changed, I'm starting at ground one again. And that's hard. That's really, really hard. And it can be discouraging, but I kept going and I kept going. So I can't imagine if I was tied down with husband and children and a little bit of social life or whatever, none of this would have happened. None of this potential of the opportunity that I have right now to make something with my brand would have even been a possibility. And I can guarantee that 100%. I can guarantee that I would be on a totally different path right now. So again, I'm going to say that things happen for reasons, right? Our lives play out the way they do for reasons. And we can either just go with it and just let life take us up. You got to set your little goals and work towards things. But when things don't work out, there's a reason they don't work out, right? And we can't beat ourselves up that we've done something wrong or we weren't good enough or something. It just wasn't meant for us. Okay, so let's take a look at these comments again. I agree 100%, Andrew. You were definitely meant for something more. There's a reason why you're with me, Andrew, why you've always been with me ever since I started this brand, right? And and my brand is where it is right now, partly partly because of you and because of all my moderators that I have here. And I have a pile of moderators, everybody. And I saw you, Malvin. I saw that you were here. And this one gentleman today here, it looks like he might be, is he reliving something like maybe a Second World War vet? This gentleman who left us earlier. I don't want to talk about him while he's not here because I know he did leave the live here. I'm just trying to go back through the comments so I can pick up his name here. But has anybody had a conversation with him at all? Because to me, it just seems like that maybe he is doing a little bit of, what do you call that? A little bit of reliving of what's going on, almost like a fighter pilot or something. What's your opinion on that, people? Is he somebody that maybe we need to draw a little bit better into the conversations? Because I see that he was talking lots, but I don't think he was really talking to any of us directly, right? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, dear. I'm sorry to hear that, dear. I'm talking to Bridget Size here that her family has gotten the coronavirus, and and he visited you a few days earlier. Oh, I hope you don't get that COVID virus. I really hope, dear, that that doesn't come onto your plate. Can I ask you, Pridge of Size, how old you are? Can you let us know that, that maybe that you're at a safe age that wow. Andrew, thank you so much. And you were thinking the same thing? I thought maybe he might be replaying a little bit of his history in his past, right? Because I know we get a lot of people who do have trauma get involved with our channel here, right? And I know we draw some really good stuff out of people. But, if there's anything we can do to help him out without making him feel uncomfortable. But it seemed to me that maybe he might have been reliving, maybe maybe he was a pilot or something in World War II or maybe Vietnam War or something, and he's maybe reliving, living a little bit of that. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really sorry, Bridge of Sighs, that that whole thing, right? Exactly when the vaccines are being rolled out too. Wouldn't that be something if I got the coronavirus, right? And I've got this amazing job. I'm one of those lucky people, right? I've been very lucky. If you know anything, if you've been hanging out with me, I almost ended up homeless earlier this year. I came very, very close to being homeless, right? And yeah, through grace, it didn't happen. But, I do believe there was a reason that my life is being played out the way that it is right now. And it would be something to get the coronavirus and lose this really great job. I know I wouldn't lose my job, but I would be off for a few weeks for sure. I'll be probably in more than a few weeks, right? Probably 2 or 3 months. Yeah, and then I'd have to reapply for my unemployment and everything too. Oh, just when I got full time, I'm trying to be very careful, and I am pretty careful, right? Because I do live on my own, so I don't get a lot of exposure to other people. But at the same time, because I practice mindset and mindfulness, and I know a lot of me spreading my sunshine means for me to physically get into the vicinity of people. So these are the reasons why I do Safeway and I go for walks, and I live in a big busy building and a busy neighborhood. So I try to shine this way, right? But it makes it so that I do put myself a little bit more at risk. But because I'm always 3 feet away from everybody, even when I'm at work and everything, I'm not getting close to people when I'm at work. So I am pleased that way. But, all it takes is one person. And again, right? Bridge of Sighs, her family getting the virus and then coming to visit her, and now the possibility. And I was at a family function last weekend. I'm feeling pretty good. And at this function, for the most part, I did wear my mask in front of everybody. So I didn't have to worry too much that I was going to catch the flu. But it was a family gathering, and there was 10 people in the backyard. So we actually had to keep our distances just for a little bit while, like, this is maybe a good lesson for all of us, for the people that we see that are still getting the virus, that don't let your guard down. Don't let your guard down. Realize that we could easily get the virus still. Without our vaccines, there are no guarantees that we're not going to get the virus. So it's important for us to pay attention to our well-being and the well-being of the people around us, right? Because again, it's cause and effect. Because look at now, you know, Bridge of Sighs now has got herself in a situation that maybe she could get the virus. So I really, really hope that everything is good with you, dear. I really, really hope so. May, that's still a couple of months away. That's a long time. Yeah, my husband also, whose comment was I reading there? Bridge of Sighs comment about her father being in the Korean War. My husband got post-traumatic stress disorder. It was one of the big reasons why our marriage did fall apart. When he came home from his tour in Croatia, for about a year, he hid it from me. I didn't even know anything was wrong. It was just when the Padre on base contacted me to ask me a few questions that I realized something was up. It turned out that my husband was digging up the bodies that were polluting the water system, because in Croatia, people were burying people just wherever, because it was such a bad situation, but these bodies were decaying and they were polluting the system. And one of my husband's job was to, get these bodies out of the ground and properly do a burial in proper spots, right? So, and there were a couple other episodes that contributed to his post-traumatic stress disorder, but he hid it from me for almost a year. And when our marriage fell apart, even, I didn't even know that there was anything wrong, right? Well, I kind of noticed a few things, but I hear about what do you call it? Shock syndrome, right? And I knew about it, but I guess I didn't delve and think that it was as serious as it what actually was, right? But my husband ended up, he wanted to be a biker, and I'd come home and he'd have like biker parties going on in the backyard, and I'd have strangers all over my house, like biker strangers. And I'd be coming home from work and I'd be tired and just want to spend some time with my husband. And he was out there partying, big bonfires out in my backyard. And I didn't even have a fire pit. They were just building big fires out on my grass, right? And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do this, right? And then we split, and we split for about a month. For a few weeks we split. And then, I bought a ticket and I went back to Edmonton, and because he came in the back door and he got in the military through the back door, and I got a plane ticket after selling my car, and I went back to Edmonton. But it wasn't the same, right? Because he had already broken my heart, and I guess I wasn't willing to really give him another chance after he did that, right? Because I didn't see it coming. It was a total surprise to me, and I didn't give him a chance at all. And so I hired a truck, and I filled all my furniture and everything up in the truck, and I came back to Winnipeg. And the funny thing was that it took 10 years for us to finally pull away from each other. I didn't stop my life from moving forward, but I would talk to him, he would phone me, he would come visit, and it was so hard on both of us. I couldn't move on in my life. And then finally one day I just said to him, he called me, and I just said to him, don't you ever call me again. Don't ever call me again. I don't ever want to hear from you again. And I never heard from him again. And that was about 10 years ago. And then shortly after that, I got my divorce papers, right? He sent me my divorce papers. He took care of the divorce and everything. All I had to do was sign the papers and everything. And that was that. I never heard from him ever again. He was a very good man, and he never really seemed like he had lots of problems, but obviously he did. But obviously I did too, right? It was my first real serious relationship. It wasn't the first time I was in love, but it was my very first time when I thought it was for real, that it was going to last forever, right? And I truly believed that, and I let it drag on for way too long. Oh, really? Yeah, my husband never talked about his experience in Croatia. I basically heard it from his friends, and then when I heard from the Padre, I kind of put my husband on the spot and made him tell me a little bit about what was going on. But I quickly picked up how painful it was for him and how it was triggering him. So I never pushed it again. Maybe I should have, but I knew how painful it was for him, and I knew how he didn't want to talk about it. And so I didn't want to make my husband feel any more uncomfortable than he was. So I just kind of let it go. until he just came home and just said, "Oh, I don't know if I want to be married." As soon as he said that was it for me, right? He just broke my heart right in the spot because I never even thought that was even a possibility, right? I never even thought that was a possibility. But we did when my husband did go to Croatia. I do know that the sergeants and the master corporals and stuff, that their wives and stuff were in charge of the committees that were there to take care of the girlfriends and the wives and stuff and help them through the process while the men were away, right? Because this was my first experience on sending my husband away, or my future husband, because we were engaged at the time, right? It was our first experience of that. He actually sent me, you guys, he packed up the house because the army was paying us to store the furniture. So he was getting a whole bunch of money just to store the furniture. And he sent me to go live with my mom for 6 months. He did that. I went and lived. It was the most uncomfortable, unpleasant experience ever. I'd already been away out of the house for over 10 years. And here I was sitting and staying with my mother, who we didn't really get along. And she tried to run I remember that experience. It was very unpleasant. And I tried to stay at work as late as I could. I tried to stay out as late as I could just so I wouldn't have to go there and talk to her and stuff. And maybe I should have. Right? We could have probably done a lot of healing and stuff at the time if I had given her that time. And we did have some really good conversations. And I did get some answers, to some of those big questions that I had about, why she did some of those things to me that she did. And a lot of it came from, her experiences as a child. So I know how these traumas, how they move forward, right? How they move forward, how a parent's fear can be so instilled into a child that it kind of imprints itself so much that it actually affects the child moving forward in their adulthood, right? Yeah. It's unfortunate, right? What we do to our kids and what we do, right? To our own selves, right? To our own selves, just because we don't understand, or we understand, but we still decide to make those sacrifices, right? That's like my caregivers. I love you guys. I love you guys to death, but I have no idea how you guys do that. That is, to me, is one huge sacrifice. You sacrifice the opportunity to make friends, to find a wife or a husband, have children, to move forward in your own journey, because you're so devoted to the people that you're taking care of, right? Like Owen and his mom, and Andrew and his brother, right? Yeah, it's really incredible, the amazing people that sacrifice so much of themselves, and yet they hang out with me. And it makes me feel insignificant, because I think you guys bring so much more to the table than I could possibly think that I could ever bring to the table, right? But again, what do we know? Because we don't really understand the journeys. We just have to let go and relax and just kind of go with the flow, and just kind of trust that universe is going to set us down where we're supposed to be, right? Let me take a look at a couple of these comments. It did, Andrew. It was really, really important for me to have those conversations with my mother. I would have been perfectly happy, in truth, not to see my mother again. But my sisters, they were always, birthdays and Christmases and holidays were all at my mom's, and we were all expected to be there, right? So it was important to my sister Tracy, and I love my sister Tracy tons, and right, even though she wouldn't let any of us pull away from the holidays. And this is the first time with the coronavirus shutting us down the way it has. This is actually the first time that we've actually been stopped in our tracks from having those physical interactions with each other. I was actually thinking maybe we could give Tracy another shot, if we could just do outings, but just fun stuff, like on people's birthdays or something, where we can actually get together for these gatherings. But I have my own personal life, right? She has her own personal life. What she does doesn't interest me, and what I do certainly doesn't interest her. And so, as long as we can keep that in mind, that doesn't mean that we can't have nice time together, that we can't go off and spend enjoyable time together, right? Being respectful of each other's feelings. But that's the idea. We have to be respectful of each other, right? No more trying to purposely hurt each other, not totally understanding the meaning as to why people do things for each other or do things to each other, right? Because there's a lot of misunderstandings and all of that too. We can get so deep into that we can, in our imaginations and our creativity, we can whip up all kinds of reasons why things happen the way they do, right? And again, I just say, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it. If it's not being pressed on you consistently, just let it go. Because if you're not meant to let it go, it will be back immediate. It'll be back immediately as a problem for you to face, right? So if it's not asking you to deal with it, then just let it go, and just realize that some things are not meant for us to understand. Some things are just meant for us just to move on from. Sometimes we're just meant to take lessons. And I think, I got some pretty good lessons in my relationships, in all of my relationships, good relationships and bad relationships, right? And good and bad in the good relationships, and good and bad in the bad relationships too. Oh, you don't ever have to ever feel sorry for me, ever. And that is a true understanding. And I think that's a big part of it too, right? Because I spent a lot of time in victimhood. It was always boo-hoo for me, boo-hoo for me. I've wasted my life, right? Nothing good ever came from my life. Look at me, I'm an old lady and I've done absolutely nothing. But I've had some amazing, amazing adventures in my life, right? I pushed forward, and I had these people in my life right up until they passed away as senior citizens themselves, right to their very last minute. So I could have been taken away from my home as a young child. I could have run away from home. I could have gotten married, and I could have gone off and lived my own life and never had to look back at these people ever again, right? But I made different choices. I made some good choices just as well as I made some bad choices. And that's the thing. They were all my choices. And yes, I made some bad choices that caused me a lot of pain. But those were my choices. And if they weren't my choices, they would still be my responsibility to resolve, right? Because the damage is there, right? Well, the damage is there. What do we do about it now? So let's get cracking. It's not like my mom is here to have another conversation, but with the conversations that we did manage to have before she passed away, I think a lot of forgiveness, a lot of resolution came from those interactions. Again, we're going back to having physical interactions with people, right? I have an amazing crew here. I'm so grateful that I have such caregivers. And you know what? Maybe that's me too. Maybe I'm a caregiver, being this is my live show and we're all kind of hanging out together. Maybe I've taken it upon myself to make sure that during these rough times in our lives and these times when we're questioning ourselves, questioning the world, questioning the people around us, questioning our own realities, even, right? What we believe in, challenging us more, that it's making us into stronger people that realize that it is our choice, right? We chose to be caregivers. We chose this, right? And we are too far into it now just to say, no, we're done with it now. This isn't going to happen, because the people that we're caring for, right? The situations that we're taking care of will be depleted, will fail if we're not stepping up to the plate, won't they? Right? Who's going to take care of Andrew's brother if Andrew doesn't do it? Who's going to take care of Owen's mom if Owen doesn't do it? Who's going to take care of you guys on Sunday nights when I go live if I'm not doing it, right? But we all get to make those choices, right? We all get to make those choices. Oh, but that's nice of you, Bridge of Sighs, to say that I have a sweet spirit. That's really sweet of you to say. And you know what? I actually think that has always been a part of me. I think that is part of my nature, right? Even when things were tough, right? I try to find the enjoyment because I knew this was the only life I have. I think differently now, right? I think differently now. Thank goodness. I am grateful, right? Not to have that emotional burden of thinking that I have wasted my life, that I'm 60 years old and I'm just starting my life now. That's not how I believe. I am 60 years old and I'm getting a head start on my next life, right? Because I truly believe, and no, it's not Cindy being reincarnated. I believe it's my soul's being reincarnated, and it's part of evolution, that it's part of us moving forward. Each life we're getting stronger and more independent, more knowledgeable, more knowings, right? More sure of ourselves, right? And to know that we are here all together, right? Having these conversations, it means that you guys are too. And that's the great thing about all of this, right? Let me take a look at some of these comments. Oh, I'm right. And Bridget's eyes, like that is the greatest of caregivers ever, working in an emergency room. Are you kidding me? The things that you have seen, the things that you have gone through, the people that you have cared for. I hope there are people in your life, dear, that are actually caring for you, right? Because what is that saying? We're only as strong as the person that's holding us up, right? And we all have to hold each other up. And yes, you are most definitely a caregiver, aren't you? Most definitely a caregiver. And leap, take that first step and leap. Oh, and that's true too. Well, I hope you guys do get cold for your vaccines, right? And I hope nobody has to wait for too much longer now. I know a good part of my audience out there, the ones that are in my live show right now, for those of you who are going to come in later, you guys are actually, a lot of you are caregivers and you have huge hearts, and you're all on your own journeys in your life. And you might not know what that journey is, and you might not know what that journey is in this life, right? It might be for the next life that you might discover, right? But who's to say, like, you made it here? Maybe you only made it here to me, right? So that in your next life, when we actually physically bump into each other, you're going to recognize me, you're going to know me, you're going to feel that you're home, right? Or I'm going to feel like I'm home, that we're going to find each other. I really believe this, people. I really do. Right. But I know what we can't change time, right? There's no crying over spilt milk. And that's what they say, right? There's no point in complaining, and there's no point in dwelling on the past, because we can't change the past. The past has happened. All we could do is change the present. So if you stay in the present and work on those problems, you could do that a little bit, but you have to stay present. No use taking a look at the back, because there is no crying over the spilt milk. If you can't change something right this moment, right? Don't beat yourself up. don't dwell on it. Don't make yourself more miserable, feel more miserable. Take care of your emotional well-being, right? Emotional intelligence. Stay present. I'm very much a realist, even though I talk about some things. I talk about some things. I am truly a realist. I really am a realist, but we all have different ideas about life and death, right? We all have different ideas, and we all, right? And it's the fact that I woke up, so late in my life, that maybe I had this idea of reincarnation because it would make it seem like I didn't waste my life, that no matter what, if I just moved real fast and accomplished things, that I could catch up on what I missed. But it wasn't the case, because it was my experiences, it was my physical and my emotional interactions with others, and in the experiences that I had, that molded me into the person that I am, right? That molded me into the person that I am right now. And you can't go back on that. You can't, because those experiences happened. The only thing you can do is counteract by maybe a bigger experience in the moment that would change your ideas altogether. But I hope that would not be the case, right? I feel very strongly. It makes 100% sense to me. And on top of that, it is one of my knowings. And it was a knowing that actually happened in my awakening. So it's in there like glue. So these are my understandings that have been put into my head by whoever or whatever, right? So these are ones that I have to hold dear to my heart. You guys hold dear to your heart whatever you want, right? Whether you're a Hindu or you're Krishna, you're Christian, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're all human beings, and as long as our values are the same, right? Because to me, it's kindness. Kindness is really, really huge to me. And I know that people just can't go wrong with anything if they kept kindness in the foresight of their mind in all their interactions in life, right? So before we end this live, because we got 6 minutes here, I got this book here. It's called 365 Ways to Save the Earth. 365 Ways to Save the Earth. So for the next 365 live shows that we're going to do on Sunday nights, right? That's a long time. But remember, once What's My Good Cheer comes to my YouTube channel, we'll be able to do that on those lives too, right? So we're going to start with the first one, and it's 365 Ways to Save the Earth. And we're going to read the first one. And it always comes with a beautiful picture. And this one is a beautiful sunset. We'll just get this up real close. It's a beautiful sunset with a lake and some hills and the sun going behind. And this is the one. One of the best ways to change the world is to vote with your wallet. Buy only what you need. Buy the best quality and the most eco-friendly items available. And don't give in to short-lived trends that fill your life with useful things. Useless things, not useful things. Everything we buy has a direct or indirect effect on the environment. Before buying things this year, ask some questions. How and where was it made? Did this process produce pollution? Does it use too much energy? Can the packaging be recycled? Will it last a long time? And can it be easily repaired? Action to protect the environment can begin at the supermarket shelf or market stall. Begin to think about the items that you can buy from the local sources, food, clothing, gifts, because the closer you are to the source of the product, the lower its ecological footprint. That's a good one to do, right? One of the best ways to change the world is to vote with your wallet. Buy only what you need. Buy the best quality and most eco-friendly items available. And don't give in to short-lived trends that fill your life with useful things. This is day number 1 of 365 ways to save the earth. Everybody, that's my show tonight. I hope everybody's doing well, right? You guys are always welcome to DM me on Instagram. Contact me through Facebook if you want to. If you want to talk, right? Because we only are as good as the people that are standing next to us, holding us up, right? And remember, we might think that we're strong, right? We think we can get through absolutely everything. And what we do is we're trying not to inconvenience other people. We're trying not to be a burden on others, right? So we don't talk about our problems. We don't share, right? It's important to have those conversations. It's really important. And like I said, if there's any way that you guys can interact physically with each other, pass your gifts along. Yes, everybody has a gift. Everybody has a gift, right? Spend some time with yourself. Go for a walk, right? Get some fresh air and actually look at your life and think, what did you bring to the table in this life? What did you bring to the table? You brought something to the table. For you to be sitting here with us right now, you brought something to the table. And maybe you could share it around a little bit. But if you want to talk, DM me. Andrew emailed me this morning, right? We had a little conversation this morning, right? Owen emailed me last week, right? William, he messages me and says good morning, constant, and or come into my lives. If you want to go live with me on Instagram, I go live every single day on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. You're welcome to come in and we can have a chit chat about absolutely everything. I'm happy to have you. Nancy's been on my lives. Kathy comes in and watches all my lives, right? Owen does, like lots of people do. So, like I said, if you want to chit chat, right, jump into the comments, right? Because that's what the comments for. And like I said, I have great moderators. You hear them chatting in the comments right now. They are absolutely amazing people with great big hearts, right? Great big hearts who have their own problems too, and are willing to talk about them, right? So, you know what? If you need a little bit of good cheer, if you need a little bit of company, if you need a little bit of understanding, join us next Sunday and jump into the comments with us, right? Jump into the comments with us. You never know what magic happens. Okay, everybody, that's my live tonight, right? That's my live. This is my wall. Everybody, let's take a little bit. I'm gonna pick up the camera here. We're just gonna walk over here a little bit, and I'm gonna just show you a little bit of my wall. How's that? We're just gonna turn this around, and we're gonna bring it around here a little bit because I can do this. Let's just make sure that it's all stable. So this is my little fairy wall, right? My little Buddhas and my fairies and my dragonflies. These are this is my tarot table, right? This is all my tarot cards all lined up, in my oracle cards all lined up in there. I got a new one today. I got the spirit animals. And over here, these are the rocks that I picked up on my trip to Toronto. I'm a little bit of a pebble picker-upper, and I got some colored glass or colored stone there. Got my dad's compass. My dad's saying, he lived by this saying here, right? Life is what happens to us while we're making other plans, and it's 100% true. It's my alabaster turtle. I collect turtles. This is a painting, and it's actually a carving too. Nova Scotian, the lighthouse there. Some of my acorns for my road trips and stuff. I pick up little sticks and pebbles and things. And this is some of my indigenous art, and this is some of my my Inuit art, wood carving I have there. And yeah, just a few things that I have here, and I'm just my ducks in a row, all my ducks in a row. Those are all carved up there. And my owl, look at those owl eyes. Somebody carved that and painted him. He looks like a real owl. He looks like a real owl. I love him. Look at those eyes. Yeah, they look real. And yeah, just some little arts and little knickknacks. And yeah, that's where I sit to put my shoes on when I get ready for work and keep my sunglasses and things. But yes, everybody, that's my good cheer. I know it's not my good cheer on this channel, but you know what? It's coming to YouTube. It's going to be in the next week, maybe even next week, because I am working on that. New phone, and hopefully we can get that done tomorrow. So everybody, have a great night, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye. No, this is going to be challenging. Let's see if Cindy can do this here. And end video.